reflect America's values and serve America's interests. We're honored to have a number of these distinguished military leaders with whom we've been working here with us today, and I'd like to introduce them to you now briefly. You'll hear more from them directly in a moment. First, Lieutenant General Harry E. Soyster, combat veteran and former director of the Defense Intelligence Agency during Desert Shield and Desert Storm, right here on my right. Second, Major General Fred E. Haynes. Fred Haynes down here in front, a combat veteran of World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, and the highest-ranking surviving officer of the Marine Corps regiment that seized Mount Suribachi at Iwo Jima. I actually just finished reading General Haynes' new book, which you can find over on the table there, called The Lions of Iwo Jima, which is a first-hand account of that legendary battle. The book contains one of the most compelling examples and arguments that I've ever heard for why humane treatment of prisoners it works and is smart policy for the United States. We have a few copies there, and I'm sure that General Haynes would be happy to talk with you about his experiences. Next, I want to introduce Major General William L. Nash. On the far left here, a veteran of Vietnam in Operation Desert Storm. General Nash commanded the 1st Armored Division of the United States Army when it went to Bosnia on a peacekeeping mission in 1995. Brigadier General Jim Cullen, former Chief Judge of the U.S. Army Court of Criminal Appeals. Brigadier General Richard O'Meara, a combat decorated veteran who fought in Vietnam before earning his law degree and joining the Army's Judge Advocate General Corps. And Brigadier General Stephen N. Xenakis, a medical doctor and psychiatrist who was Commanding General of the Southeast Regional Army Medical Command. I also want to thank General Charles Krulak, former Commandant of the Marine Corps, who has been a leader of our group and who intended to be here today but was unavoidably detained on business outside the country. These men have served America in uniform and have continued to devote their time and energy to serving our nation, even in their retirement. You'll hear from two of them directly in a moment, but first I want to tell you a little bit about the important work that they've been doing. This group, along with about 30 other retired flag and general officers, has been speaking out publicly, testifying before congressional committees, publishing opinion pieces, writing joint letters, meeting with presidential candidates, and traveling around the country to deliver a clear and unequivocal message. Torture is ineffective, it harms our national security, and it is wrong. This is not a partisan issue, but it is a defining issue for our nation. We have joined together in this effort because we share a common belief that our country is stronger and safer when it upholds the rule of law and the values of integrity and respect for human dignity on which this country was founded. This is a personal matter for the men here with us today. They fought and sacrificed for these principles. They have sent young men and women into harm's way to defend these principles. Their message is clear and forceful. Torture is ineffective, it's wrong, it harms our national security, and it's unworthy of America. We know that our country has not always lived up to these values, but we have, through most of our history, aspired to lead by example and to serve as a beacon to other nations to uphold human rights standards and international law. Our next commander-in-chief, whoever he is, would do well to heed the seasoned counsel of these distinguished military leaders. Now, it's my great privilege to introduce a man who has served our country both in uniform as a United States Marine and as National Security Advisor to President Ronald Reagan. Bud McFarland has been outspoken in his support for prisoner treatment and interrogation policies that are effective, lawful, and humane. We're very grateful for his leadership and for his co-hosting this event with us today. Thank you, Bud.